Chris Froome told us this morning he was concerned about Romain Bardet, and here's why. Bardet finds some strength at the finish. He wins stage 12. And while he realizes his stage victory, Chris Froome coming in behind him, 7th place today, 22 seconds behind. What's that mean at the top? It means Fabio Aru, no longer just the Italian national champion. He is the man in the yellow jersey. Aru, the overall leader after an exciting stage 12. Thanks for coming back with us. Paul Burmeister, Bob Roll, Christian Vandeveld. Just when it appeared Chris Froome and Team Sky had a stranglehold on the peloton, the final 200 meters happened.
Fabio Aru put in the only attack that Chris Froome has not been able to respond to since 2012. You take out 2014 when he crashed out of the Tour de France in the first week. Aru finally put Chris Froome into difficulty, and because of that gets the yellow jersey in spite of the loss of his teammate Jakob Fuglsang in the finale. Fuglsang, he was there for most of the race, but what an exciting finale. I don't want to say that I was rooting against Chris Froome, but I was hoping to see some life from his competitors, and Bardet, Uran, and especially Fabio Aru went all in and got a clear gap. That's the first time we've seen that in so long. It was awesome.
It appeared, guys, that Team Sky and Chris Froome were in very good shape.
Kirienka takes over on the what we could call the penultimate climb, the Porte de Bales. At this point, there's still a little bit of a breakaway. Landa moves into position. Nieves into position. Sergio Henao surprisingly having a little bit of trouble. That put Jakob Fuglsang, the teammate of Aru, into difficulty. That's understandable. He's got 2 broken bones in his left arm, and we are presuming he struggled to the finish line. But a little bit further up, Warren Barguil goes off the front for the king of the mountain points. He would extend his lead in the competition over Roglic to 40-point advantage and 38 points ahead of Thomas de Gent. Alberto Contador, some signs of life. He would pay for that, though, later on in the stage.
And then you have to think that Mikkel Kwiatkowski flying down the descent to the bottom of the Parasort, the hard right-hand turn that pretty much I have to say everyone knows is coming. Looked like Mikkel Nieve went straight into the camper parking. Chris Froome and Fabio Aru fouled him deep in there. The peloton ended up waiting for him, but this is really, I have to put the blame on Mikkel Kwiatkowski. He was taking some serious risks on the descent. There was really no need to take any risk on that last descent. As you see that these guys trying to get back on their bike. Meanwhile, the peloton waiting for them. There's a question of did they not have the legs to attack, or they just wanted to pay respect to the yellow jersey. We can see that Bardet having a little chat there with Quintana. Quintana, I think, was just showing that he has nothing left.
I'll kind of give some credit to the fans for getting out of the way so quickly of the Skyriders flying into their midst. But it didn't take long for Chris to catch up, and now we know why Quintana wasn't attacking. Just a little bit later, he got dropped.
And he's now 4 minutes and 1 second off the pace of the new leader, Fabio Aru.
Warren Barguil being distanced again by the hard tempo that Team Sky continued to tap out. This is the only man who was off the front was Steve Cummings. He'd won 2 stages in the 2 previous tours. Fantastic job by him, but really Team Sky had this under control at all times. Mikkel Nieve, Landa behind him. Landa looking, I have to say, better than Chris Froome today. Didn't even look like he was breathing on the Parasort, and he didn't look like he was even trying to the finish line. Alberto Contador finally coming to grips, paying for that attack, like Bob said earlier.
Chris Froome still looking like he's about to decimate the field. And then George Bennett, winner of the Tour of California this spring, a little bit antsy. He might have been advised to wait a little bit longer. Still 800 meters to go at this point. And look at Landa. Just opens up the throttle a little bit further, swings right back onto the wheel of George Bennett. And then Aru in the red and white and green jersey just behind Froome. So about 500 meters to go, he's like, okay, now it's steep. I can go as hard as I want to. And this is mano a mano. There's no aerodynamic advantage whatsoever. This is just pure desire, pure guts. And Aru going for the yellow jersey now. All in for that. Dan Martin matching that And look at Rigoberto Urán in green, just waiting for his moment. But Bardet, the best on the rest of the climb, just barely eking himself. I thought it was in slow motion, these images, but that is real time. That shows you how steep this final climb was.
These are one of these climbs where you really have to time your effort. If you go too early, like we saw with George Bennett, you will pay. Chris Froome, seeing them back in the yellow jersey, looked like almost having to paperboy across the last couple hundred meters of this, but that man right there, Romain Bardet, timing his sprint to perfection, if you could call it a sprint, as he came across the line. Real-time slow motion. We got some serious technology here at NBC today.
And if you're looking for Chris Froome, who started the stage as the overall leader, there he is, the rare sight of him struggling to finish a race.
His own teammate. You don't see that very often. Froome, I just never see that.
And George Bennett eventually getting across the line, but there's the man of the day, Romain Bardet. Again, what you said earlier, Paul, the person that Chris Froome was most scared of this morning, and what Chris Froome said as well is what also the time gaps could be severe just in the last couple hundred meters of this climb. He was right.
What do you think it does to his competitors to see him finally struggle to finish a race like this and to fall out of the lead? And there's your new race leader, Fabio Aru.
This deep in the Tour de France, it's all about hope. It's all about morale. As we see Nairo Quintana, who's losing any morale he might have had left. Barguil, consolidating king of the mountain points earlier in the stage. But to your question, for that man, Romain Bardet, and his teammates, it gives them hope that if they go on the attack, if they're aggressive, and that man and his teammates from Astana, there is a chance they can finally get some daylight between themselves and Chris Froome.
Stage results after the steep finish for stage 12. Romain Bardet, you saw the smiles, you saw the strength at the end. There he is at number 1. Urán just behind him, and Aru also 2 seconds behind him. He is the new man in yellow. Dan Martin looked like he was going to go there at the end as well. He finishes 6th today. Romain Bardet knows what this is like. It's his 3rd career stage win at the Tour, but this one, as you guys have talked about, might feel the best, not only for him, but also for all the competitors who saw Chris Froome looking vulnerable today.
And the little bit of a difference in this, he was a ways down when he won his first Tour de France stage, so nobody was chasing him. Last year, he made a surprise attack, but still a long ways down at the very end of the Tour de France. Chris Froome and his teammates didn't chase him that hard, got the stage win. But this was against the very best, giving their all, giving their best, and that is an impressive stage win.
From the stage winner to the man who is now wearing yellow, Fabio Aru, on this day finished 2 seconds behind Bardet, but overall he is your new race leader, 6 seconds ahead of Chris Froome. See, Nairo Quintana, you saw him struggling throughout the day, a little over 4 minutes off of the lead of Aru. And the first time ever, Fabio Aru will pull on that yellow jersey as the overall race leader.
It's not been that long since an Italian was on this podium, Vincenzo Nibali in 2014, after Chris Froome had crashed out in the first week of the race. But a very special moment for any cyclist, and Fabio Aru, injured earlier in the year, had said he was going to focus on the Giro d'Italia, the other Grand Tour from Italy, but because of that injury, skipped the Giro, did the Dauphiné, one of the preparation races for the Tour, started coming better and better in the Dauphiné, and he's absolutely flying in this year's Tour de France, already with the stage win on stage number 5, and now the yellow jersey. Spectacular ride by Fabio Aru, and it was he that put the pressure on Froome. It was he that attacked and put Froome in trouble, and he had just enough time to get the yellow jersey.
Big smile on his face for over 30 consecutive seconds there for Fabio Aru. Warren Barguil started the day as the king of the mountains, and all he did today was increase that lead.
Thomas de Gent comes into the picture, but still quite a few points away, 38 points down. Roglic was the closest, and he's now 40 points behind. So Barguil, he's going to be very tough to beat in this competition all the way through to Paris. He's a great climber, and he can just pick off the moments when he wants to get some points. 30 points on offer tomorrow if you were to win all 3, and nobody has close enough to catch him tomorrow. And then it's not until the last series of mountains in the Alps when anybody could conceivably catch Warren Barguil, and that is a great result for that team, Team Sunweb.
You saw Michael Matthews out there working for Warren Barguil, sprinting for some mountain points, making sure that Thomas didn't get all the top points. 38-point spread now.
So the polka dot jersey remains on Warren Barguil, and the whites for the best rider under the age of 25 remains on Simon Yates.
But Luis Menkes was looking good, finished 5th on the stage. Not much of a time gap on Simon Yates, who put a solid defense in that white jersey. Didn't let Menkes get too far up the road and keeps it for another day. But this white jersey competition, we oftentimes see the leader a runaway from the very first mountain stages, but that's not the case this year.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good battle between the first two. And Pierre Latour a little bit out of it, 6 minutes behind Simon Yates, but if he goes in a breakaway and they don't chase, and Pierre Latour gets a big chunk of time back, he'll be back in the picture for the white jersey too.
They'll chase. Believe me, they'll chase. But yeah, it's nice to see that Menkes bringing back 20 seconds on Yates today. I mean, I thought that really, like, Team Sky, Chris Froome, we're going to take this all the way to Paris, and I'm happy to see. I'm not cheering against Chris Froome, but I'm happy to see how great of a race we have right now.
That specific position you're talking about that he's not used to being in, that's second place right now, 6 seconds behind the lead of Fabio Aru. Let's take a listen to his post-race thoughts.
And you guys in yellow, this Tour de France, how is the feeling? Having suddenly the white one again.
Yeah, I mean, certainly a tough day for me in the final. My teammates did such an amazing job today, but I didn't have the legs at the end to finish it off. Simple as that. No excuses. I just didn't have the legs on the final kick.
Tell us about the steep finish here.
Yeah, it's brutal. I mean, ramps of over 20%. That's a really hard finish. I mean, I can only say congratulations to Romain Bardet for winning the stage, and also to Fabio Aru for taking the yellow jersey. Race is certainly on now.
And there was also an episode with the camper there. What happened?
Sorry?
The camper down in the streets.
There was a bit of a tight turn at the bottom of the climb, and a couple of us just overshot the corner. Just had to go onto the grass and turn around and come back on.
Chris, okay, we'll go to the two down there.
Romain Bardet, your stage winner, 3rd time in his career he wins a stage. And Fabio Aru, for the very first time, pulls on the yellow jersey. He's 6 seconds ahead of Chris Froome.